welcome to the City of Joliet Combined Council meeting for Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. The Honorable Mayor Terry Darcy presiding. We will have the invocation by Pastor Jacob Garcia, Crossroads Christian Church, 2312 Essington Road in Joliet, at which time he will also lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Please say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow with me for a word of prayer. God, thank you for today. Thank you for this great city, for all of its leaders, and for all of the members of the community that are here tonight. God, as we discuss and make decisions for Joliet and for all of the people that call this place home, it is our prayer that each and every one of us here would use our wisdom, our knowledge, and expertise to the benefit of all who live and work here. We ask that you would help us to set aside any bias as we do our best to be impartial and neutral as we go over each of the items on tonight's agenda. And we want to do what your scripture encourages us to do, to lift up our leaders and to live peacefully. What we ask is that we would all be able to do both of those things tonight. Lastly, we pray a blessing on all who live and work and serve in this great city, as we each seek justice, as we love mercy, and as we walk humbly. It's in Jesus' name that we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
It's on your desk.
Yeah.
Is your office door open?
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy.
Here.
Councilman Cardenas.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here. Here.
Councilwoman Navarro. Here. Councilman Mudron is unable to make it this evening. Councilwoman Coleman. Here. Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned, seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. We have a few people that have signed up this evening, so I will call 3 names at a time, and I ask you line up in the middle of the room and come up one at a time to the podium. First is Aletta Finney Pavaninka, Donna Aldridge, or Ardo, and John Philipchuk. Alita, you can approach.
Good evening to you, Mayor Darcy, and to the Honorable City Council. Thank you very much for hearing me. My name is Alita Pavnika, and I'm the Community Development Director for Merchants and Manufacturers Bank. And part of my responsibilities in that position is to get to know and work closely with most of the nonprofit agencies within our community. With that, during the last 4 years, I now sit on the Salvation Army Board, the Joliet Township High School Foundation Board, and the Salvation Army. We've done lots of work, especially with the Salvation Army and the Spanish Community Center. The programs in both of those agencies have grown exponentially, and the amount of people just this last December served is in the thousands as far as giving trees, food, groceries, diapers, medicine, everything you can think of, which makes the programs get bigger and bigger. The bank, ExxonMobil, and Home Depot have helped me develop the 3rd floor at the Spanish Center to create a library, classrooms, and a new adult learning facility. It's a beautiful facility. We haven't dedicated it yet. It's in that historic building. But tonight you're going to discuss getting us an elevator to get up there. And I would like you to think positively towards funding that. We have funded everything else and it fixed everything else. And I'm here to say the good work that's being done there needs to be safely done there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Donna Ardo, and I'm here about the Cherry Hill Business Park that's going in around our house. And I'm not here to oppose the approval. I'm just here to state my views that I'm just concerned that I have some contact or they contact us, and don't just forget us because it's approved, so. And the president of Northern Builders is here, and he said he would talk a little bit, I guess.
Sure. Good evening. I'm Matthew Grusecki, president of Northern Builders. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Arda this evening. Certainly we understand her concerns. We've always done our best to be a good neighbor to all of the residents around Cherry Hill Business Park. I've given Ms. Arda my word that we'll continue to work together. It's my understanding that they would like to sell the property. We've always been interested in buying it, so it sounds like we're going to get a second appraisal performed on the property and work together to agree on a price that we're both comfortable with. So thank you.
I'm happy with it.
Thank you very
Good.
much. And
Thank you.
thank you for listening.
Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. I've been working with her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the council. My name is John Philipchuk. I'm the attorney representing All In Campus LLC. We're here this evening seeking an ordinance approval to reapprove our preliminary plat for the Cadence Crossing subdivision for an additional 3 years. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have when that matter comes up. We sure appreciate what the council did for us back in November by allowing us to get that temporary lot going down there, because our trailers are starting to come in off the road now for inspections, repairs, et cetera, so that's helping out. But because of the delays down there on Emerald Drive and that intersection on 53, we haven't been able to go ahead and actually get started with our final plat. So that's why we're requesting this extension that went beyond everyone's expectations on how long that was going to take. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Amy Sanchez, Chris Spezia, and Delilah Legret.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm here to speak on agenda item 48 and 49-24. And I plan to use all of my 4 minutes. So on May 7th, 1989, I spent the entire day at the Spanish Community Center building, exceeding capacity with every well-respected karate school from the Chicagoland area, Will County, and even as far south as Kankakee and other parts of southern Illinois. It was a safe haven and a refuge for kids after school, for karate classes, for kids in the neighborhood. It housed a food pantry that fed us, as well as sometimes clothed us, and more. Friday nights there used to be DJ nights, and if those who can remember, break dancers that would fill the gymnasium. It was also a meeting space for advocacy and education, and later. I'm sorry. And so a lot of us in the community for decades have been going to the Spanish Community Center. Later that evening, I was shot in the head. Although I was not the first member community participant at the Spanish Community Center to be shot, I was not the last. A year and a half later, the Spanish Community Center opened their doors to be for the repast and the family to receive the family of Denny Reyes, who was tragically murdered a half a block away. Over the years, the Spanish Community Center has not just been a safe haven and a refuge, but also a staple in our community. It has gone on to expand to housing and other educational and human capacity items in the community. And I just wanted to say that, back in 2010, I remember being asked by city officials to sign on to a letter when CDGB funding was first threatened to be removed from the city of Joliet. And at the time, I was the president of the Collins Street Neighborhood Council, and the vice president and I talked. and we talked with other neighborhood leaders, and we just were the ones that had to say we could not sign on to that letter because CDGB funding was not adequately improving the quality of life in the Collins Street area like it had in other areas. So we opted not to sign on to that letter. And I'm very proud that it's been restored. It's very, very honored and exciting to see that not only has it been restored, but it's been being used in an equitable manner to do things in the community all over and impact lives, to be that safe haven and that refuge and that place of need for folks. So tonight as you vote, I really feel that it's like an honor and a privilege to finally get the ADA accessibility to the Spanish Center, which will open them up to be more self-sufficient and apply for a different type of at a different capacity. This has been long overdue. I know we've all talked in the community of how we've needed that ADA capacity and accessibility and what more we can do at the Spanish Center on those multiple levels. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited that the privilege that the city of Joliet that gets to distribute the HUD funding that was once, not available to us for a period of time, and doing the honorable and integral thing to make sure it gets to everybody, especially those with disabilities that need the access and resources in the community. So thank you very much for that consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor. Excuse me, members of the council. My name is Chris Spacey. I'm representing Centerpoint. We are here on items 36, 37, and 38 on the agenda. We're seeking your approval of those items consistent with the positive plan commission recommendation we received for those items and the city administration's positive recommendation. The Centerpoint development team is also here. If you have any questions when those items are called, we're happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Delilah Legrette. I am the Jackson Township Assessor. In the last few years, we have seen a large shift in what is happening on the south side of Joliet within my district. In 2023 alone, the city of Joliet saw almost 20% of residential certificates of occupancies come from Jackson Township. We are such a small portion of what the city currently has zoned residential, and yet we have such a significant amount of new builds that are being purchased immediately. I look forward to what that means for the South Side. It should mean a continuing increase in residential and a large need for commercial properties such as grocery stores, restaurants, medical facilities, and more. Let's discuss industrial. SCM, the nearly 1 million square foot warehouse on 53 right by Breen Road, which is in the city, appealed their value in August of 2023, asking me for a $5 million decrease based on increasing vacancy rates in the Joliet corridor. They used a forecasted 2023 rate of 5% vacancy to come up with that. At the hearing, I asked the Board of Review to use the year-to-date rate, which was 2.3%, which kept its value in line with where I had it. I will receive their ruling this coming Friday. Since then, new vacancy rates have been published. The current vacancy rate for the Joliet corridor is 6.35% and does not account for the 3 buildings that are built right now. Please do not approve yet another industrial building in this corridor to be built. The numbers are clear. Residential is where the city is seeing benefits on the south side. And those residents, they will be voting here for many of us before we know it. Please show them you are doing what benefits them and the city as a whole. Please vote no on the annexation, rezoning, and plats for South Chicago Logistics. Thank you.
Ken Ninehouse, Tanya Arias, Matt Robbins, and Matthew Holmes.
Good evening. My name is Ken Ninehouse with Northern Builders. We are here tonight for the Cherry Hill subdivision approval. As President of Northern Builders, Matt Krasecki, said, we have been working diligently with the RDOF people to acquire their property, and we are working in earnest with them. The project we have before you tonight is, it basically enhances the food chain. It is a cold storage facility that will supply food to many, many people. So it's a great asset. It will also bring jobs and tax revenue to increase the tax base in this community. And we ask you to please approve our plat of subdivision tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, city staff, and residents in the community. Name is Tanya Arias. I am a lifelong resident of Joliet, as well as the board president of the Collins Street Neighborhood Council. I'm here today to discuss agenda items 48-24 and 49-24, which is the CDBG funding for the Spanish Community Center. So as many of you know, the Spanish Community Center has been a staple not only for the Collins Street neighborhood, but for the entire city of Joliet for over 50 years, serving residents regardless of their gender, sex, racial orientation, race, or ethnicity. They are there to serve for the community. They provide numerous services, serving over 11,000 clients a year, and that's only for the city of Joliet. It has extended over to other parts of the county, as well as to Kankakee County. But right now I'm just focusing on city of Joliet portion for SEC. It has so many services from food pantries, early childhood care, to literacy classes, as was mentioned earlier, with the MMN blank providing funding for that. As a past board president of the Spanish Community Center, I can tell you firsthand all the work that SEC and its staff has done to Joliet and to the entire community. Something that has kind of been neglected over the years is a mention of how SEC was one of the nonprofits that wholeheartedly stepped up during COVID. They assisted with opening various numerous services. Their food pantry went from serving 75 residents a week to over 300 residents a week in the city of Joliet. And that continued to serve over 300 residents a week at SEC today. In addition, they also assisted with the Joliet Fire Department to host vaccine clinics at the Spanish Community Center and Mark Homewood Church at Jackson Street. This area was specifically targeted to our underserved communities who were not getting that information about the COVID vaccines or the information of public health of what COVID was and all the myths and stereotypes of that. So they were there, they stepped up, and they made sure that anyone who needed a vaccine was getting that vaccine. So I do employ the city council today to please vote in favor of SEC. They do need that ADA ramp to continue to have those services to all members of the community. So thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Matt Robbins, and I'm the supervisor of Jackson Township. I, as well as many of others, have been here before and are completely against the North Point project on the south side. As I understand it, only the mayor and city council can change or adopt an ordinance, normally under the recommendation of the city administration. On July 26, 2017, there was a council memo 415-17 recommending changing weight limits on certain roads from 12 tons to 10 tons from the city administration because of the deterioration of local roadways by overweight vehicles. Then on August 1st, 2017, ordinance number 17643 was brought before the council and unanimously voted on to change the weight limit from 12 ton to 10 ton on certain roads. The first road listed on this ordinance is Millsdale Road between the railroad crossing and Keith Allen Drive. If this is an ordinance that hasn't been changed by the council, then how is the road being directed for use by overweight vehicles? There are 19 roads on this ordinance. I guarantee we aren't going to be directing trucks or building a truck entrance onto one of these other roads like Western Avenue between Center and Reed, which is on this list. I think it's completely absurd to agree to more buildings and property when members of your own staff, Mr. Ruddy, Mr. Lubash, and Mr. Torrey, under oath, said that Millsdale Road is not a truck route, just like the ordinance states. Under the agreement between North Point and the city, North Point states it will not request to change any weight restrictions on existing roads. In fact, in July of 2023, in court, under oath, the city argued that allegations it eliminated trucking restrictions on Millsdale Road must fail because the pertinent weight restrictions ordinance remains in effect, which is this ordinance. There is no way in or out of this property without Millsdale Road for trucks, cut and dry. Then why is North Point under the impression it can use Millsdale? Somewhere, someone is not telling the truth. I think you should get to the bottom of this before approving another building and property. Second, has there been a traffic impact study? I know North Point had Kimmel Horn do a traffic study, if we believe that. Didn't the city hire Civil Tech to take a look at Kimmel Horn's study and find 30 to 40 flaws in it? Doesn't it state that this would exceed IDOT's allowance on Route 53? How can you approve something with so many flaws in a traffic study? Lastly, I have a feeling that some of the Center Point property is being held up and not voted on because of the North Point property. They too have nothing to do with each other. Center Point is an industrial park. Center Point has been a great partner with the communities in the area. What has North Point done but for the communities in the area except to turn on each other and residents against each other? Remember, when you approve something like North Point outside of industrial park, it not only affects the people of Jackson Township, but also the people of the city of Joliet on the south side, which vote for all of you. Vote no on North Point. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Matt Holmes. I'm one of the attorneys for Northern Builders, and I think pretty much everything that had to be said was said by Mr. Gusecki and Ms. Arda. We would respectfully ask that our plat be approved this evening. Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item? If so, if you could stand in the middle aisle and come up one at a time.
Good evening, state members of the City Council. My name is Samantha Martinez, and I serve at the board at the Spanish Community Center. So today, I would like you to vote in favor for the AD lift because the Spanish Community Center has shown responsibility and dedication in our community in the well-being of everyone. And having moved to the Joliet area in my teenage year, and now as a representative of SEC, I really have witnessed all the transformative power of this center in fostering unity, inclusion, and support for all residents. SEC stands as a testament to Joliet's commitment to diversity and community empowerment as well. Our comprehensive programs serve not only any resident, but has served approximately 11,000 clients annually and have become a cornerstone for individuals of all ages and backgrounds. From early care and education to adult education, encompassing computer classes, nutrition, and also financial literacy. SEC plays a vital role in shaping the fabric of our community. And also, it helps everyone, like we said. Our social services ranges from operating the food pantry to housing advocacy. You guys already know all the services that they offer, so I don't have to repeat. But I just want to make awareness that the Spanish Community Center is the first stop shop for everyone here in Joliet, people that I know, and I see the need of Joliet every day in my social media, and the Spanish Center comes first in everyone's mind. So today I ask you to please approve this because it's really needed in our community. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Margie Sepon, and I live in Joliet. Over the last couple of days, I've been thinking about the Centerpoint lawsuit in regards to the Humboldt Road MOU and the conditions that exist within that MOU that the appellate court reversed the dismissal and remanded it back to Will County Court. So their closed loop bridge depends upon the use of Millsdale. And if Centerpoint wins this case, what does anyone know, and I know you can't answer right now, what is Plan B? Will will North Point be asking IDOT for a cutout for trucks onto Route 53 if they can't use Millsdale Road, so that 53 will be the access to Third Coast Parkway? We're all wondering, what is Plan B? Next, just over the last couple of days, I was able to read another transcript from a deposition of a department head, and it was a little stunning to me that there was discussion that even though Walter Strawn was rejected in Elwood, there is a possibility that in the future that a connection at Walter Strawn could be made for the BNSF rail in Elwood, even though Elwood rejected it. And it also discusses, department head discusses, that eastern entrance specifically lists, and it was confirmed that there is a possibility that Briggs Street could be used as an ingress and egress into the eastern exit and ingress for North Point. How, I'm confused here and a little stunned. This whole project depended upon a closed loop network, and Millsdale Road is in question and in court, and right now has a weight limit on it. Without Millsdale Road, there's no closed loop. So will there be entrances and exits onto 53? Will there be entrances and exits on Cherry Hill, leading to Briggs Street and Manhattan Road, Sugar Creek to Knoll Park? I want you to consider this in your vote for North Point this evening. The South Side community, I speak for a lot of people there, and we're really concerned that the South Side, it could be total destruction with all of the trucks. Thank you.
Good evening, honorable members of the City Council. My name is Jenny Munoz-Swaninger, and I stand before you as a local dual language educator and family advocate, as well as the president of Club Social Latino and the bilingual coordinator for the St. John Lutheran Food Pantry. Today, I'm here to passionately advocate for your support in securing the Community Development Block Grant funding for the Spanish Community Center to construct an ADA accessible ramp. Club Social Latino is committed to providing opportunities for all seniors in Joliet Township, over 51, to socialize, explore, and create through shared lived experiences an opportunity to make friendships for the later part of life. Our mission centers on promoting friendships, community, and collaboration to enhance the next stage of life for everyone. We focus on the health, education, and social emotional well-being, and our activities are made possible through generous donations. The Spanish Community Center is a crucial resource for our community, providing essential services, as you have heard from so many people. And it's the one place that I sent most of the food pantry patrons that come, the clients, the neighbors, the people that live right next to you, the teachers, the parapros, the nurses that come to St. John Food Pantry. Most of them I refer back over to the Spanish Center because I know that it's a place where everyone is serviced. Well, they'll find friendly people that will give them the information. If they don't have access to the information, there'll be that bridge, that connection to other services in the community. So today I ask that you please consider when Club Social members come to St. John Hall, where we do our Zumba Goal on designated Saturdays, and those are announced at through the Joliet Township website. We come there from 9:30 to 10:30, and we enjoy Zumba. It's accessible to them. They should have that same ability to walk into any building in 2024, including the Spanish Center. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Diana Viveros. I am the program manager for the Joliet Latino Economic Development Association. I'm here to speak on agenda item 39-24 on the ordinance of approving a special use permit to allow
auto body repair shop and this is for R&R touch-up shop here in Joliet. So they were referred to us by the city of Joliet to our LIDA Business Assistance Program that is funded by the Community Block Development Grant by the city of Joliet. And so this is a success story, and if it is passed, it will complete the success story and us helping them with their application for a special use permit. And then we can also assist them afterwards with any further steps once if and when it is approved. And we're here to help answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, student council members. You guys got brave enough to battle this cold weather. Anyhow, about the thing with the North Point thing, you know, people bring up the good points. And with this entrance on the Millsdale Road, you know, every time, you know, when North Point first started out with this closed loop thing, that's all they keep saying is closed loop, but they never tell you how the trucks are gonna get to and from that closed loop and into their industrial park. Where do they go after that closed loop is the thing. You know, we already got enough trucks on the road, and I understand CenterPoint's philosophy with them. CenterPoint built their thing. They don't want any more of their, you know, trucks coming. You know, another industrial park is gonna bring how many tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of trucks every day down the roads, you know, and of course they come down my road to get to that toll bridge. Ain't I suffered enough with the trucks on my road and everything, with the negative effect of what it's all had on my body, you know, and everything, because I can't sleep anymore, and that. And as far as being a cold storage unit that they want to get approved, I know how cold storage units are because they got them. CenterPoint has a Mars Candy DHL warehouse up the road from my house, and ever since they put that thing in, it was nothing but noise. And it ended up killing my mom because the noisy refrigerated trucks, trailers, refrigerated trailers are noisy. They're even noisier than the semi-trucks. And they run, the trailer's sitting out there by itself and out in the yard, and they run themselves. They start themselves up and everything, you know, and the noise is, I know from suffering the noise. I know that these things are going to be in a closer proximity to more people for the North Point thing. They're going to be right up to these other people's houses, much more than down Vetter Road here. So I don't want the people to suffer like I've had to suffer. I lost my mother because of the noise, and my health ain't much better. And as far as CenterPoint too, you know, CenterPoint, I've been so negatively affected by CenterPoint through the years, you know, from the thing from my boss's place when they bought my boss's house out, and I suffered there, you know, numerous transactions from there, negatively and everything, going, you know, being, you know, served a sentence, even convicted and everything, because they wanted me to get me out. And then now, you know, with the thing with the road being on Vetter Road here, you know, needless to say, I've come numerous of times of complaining about my road and these trucks, how they affected my health and everything. You know, when you can't sleep, you know, you can't get up and do your things. You know, everything, you know, business-wise, you know, businesses close at 4:30. I'm just getting up. Because I'm battling all night and, you know, trying to sleep from these trucks, you know, but CenterPoint has done, through the years, you know, donated property to like Autobahn, donated property to Steffen Chemical, even built Steffen Chemical and warehouse. I think CenterPoint needs to take care of me for all I've suffered through the years, you know, and I think they better start taking care of me first, you know, before anything else gets voted on. Thank you.
Good evening, city members, city council. My name is Ana Campa Castillo, and I come as a parent of a former daycare student from the Spanish Community Center. I ask you guys to support the ADA compliant ramp that they're requesting from the city. As a parent of a toddler in that time, I definitely saw the need to be more inclusive in that aspect from the center. Unfortunately, the stairs are very difficult to a lot of not only parents, but grandparents and other individuals who come to get assistance from the center. So definitely this would be a step forward for them to continue their mission that I feel like has impacted many, many of the residents in Joliet. So I urge you to approve that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Larry Crawford, 613 North Hickory, right here in Joliet. Hope I can get to a couple of 3 things. Want to say thank you very much for just jumping right in and getting to the administration of whatever's happening in Joliet. I'm excited about the water thing that's going on. It's an amazing thing. I know it's going to take some time, but as you've kind of jumped into that thing, Ms. Beatty, thank you very much for that. I have some questions in regard to how that money, that's a lot of money. And I'm a little bit concerned about where we are as an EEO provider or equal opportunity provider for people who can maybe benefit from some of the services as you're approving contracts for certain labor and putting in water lines all over town and stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of minorities that may have some of those services, and I don't know if I recognize them in what you're approving in terms of getting some of that money to stay in the Joliet community. So I would really want to know if what's being done to assure that some of those monies exchange hands in some of the minorities that live right here in Joliet. The other thing that I'm wanted to make mention of is that not too long ago we were having a conversation about what was going to be happening at Riverwalk in terms of reducing the number of units, and we were talking about leaving almost 400 families are without somewhere to stay. And so I'm a bit concerned that where the priority of that displacement is going to fall in the midst of approving whatever you're doing with Centerpoint and stuff. I don't know if that's really a priority for our city at this time. I don't know that it's unnecessary, but I think it's far less important than adding housing stock for those families who are going to certainly be displaced. And I hope that you would give consideration for that. As I recall, Mr. Similton was sharing a rendering of using the old country club property to build housing stock there, not only fixed, regular and adequate, and not only that, affordable housing for our families that are certainly going to be misplaced as we reduce the housing stock at Riverwalk. So I'm just concerned that the priorities that we're setting are the priorities of the needs of Joliet citizens rather than a need for another warehouse. We don't need warehouses, we need houses and homes. We're talking about, we're already identified as the largest, maybe I'm incorrect about that, but it's the largest inland port in the country, I don't know, maybe in the world. But in the economy of that, I don't know that we need any more of that as much as we need places that are fixed, regular, adequate, and affordable for the citizens of Joliet. Thanks for hearing me.
Hello, Mayor, City Council, and new City Manager. I am Boise Walker, and I am here to talk on the issue of 40-24. I am going to piggyback off of what Margie Cepron has stated, but I'm going to ask questions. So the first question I have, can we trust North Point to do right by the residents of Joliet? I was looking for for North Point on the agenda, and I couldn't even find it. Why? Because they changed their name. Was that by coincidence? I don't know. But I didn't find North Point on the agenda. Is there a solid transportation plan that will alleviate truck traffic in Joliet, in Will County, on the south and east side of Joliet? This is something that North Point should be bringing to the table as a benefit for the residents and the businesses that are already in the area where they're wanting to expand. If the closed loop within the North Point is not approved, how will traffic access the industrial development? Brick Street should not be an option and never change to a truck route. And if Brick Street is not an option, are they then going to look at Route 52? These are just questions. I know you guys don't have the answers to them, but these are viable questions that will impact what happens with North Point. And on a separate issue, but kind of related, community benefits agreements. They are legally binding contracts between the community and any prospective company that wants to come into the city of Joliet. Companies like North Point. What are they bringing to the table and what benefits are they providing to the community? I don't know if there was a CBA that was included when they struck a deal. Every major company that's coming into the city of Joliet should be required to also include a CBA that is providing benefits that is going to impact all of the residents in that area, both in and outside of the direct area that they're coming into. Those CBAs can, as I mentioned, it's a legally binding contract. It can require them to set a certain limit for what they're willing to pay their employees. They can be required to include, or not required, they can include employment of diversity. They can also look at bringing housing to the area. They can look at providing infrastructure improvements. Those CBAs are benefits because the city of Joliet is an asset to any company that wants to come here, and we need to make sure that we are leveraging the assets when these companies want to come and impact our infrastructure currently. Thank you.
I'm Betsy Satcher, Eastside Neighborhood Council. And I just want to say I don't have a lot to say because so much has been said tonight concerning 41-24. We all know that the east side of Joliet, we're in a dry desert land. We are hurting. Our people are hurting, and you guys have heard me say this before. And as I look up here, we have elected officials that represent us as residents of Joliet. And when some of us hurt, all of us are hurt, should hurt. And we have asked again and again and again, will you consider helping us? We need a grocery store. We need doctors, offices. We need other facilities in, businesses in our area where we can have service. We need that. And I know there are things that's being planned. We know that. And we can smile with you. We're happy. But don't ask me to come to your party and dance if my leg is broken. I can't dance with you on a broken leg because who am I hurting? I'm hurting myself. I'm happy for you, but I'm hurting. So we're asking you to help us get what we need for our people. We don't need to be pushed out of our homes more than what we are. We need to be able to go different places without having trains, trucks, bridges, and all of that. So we're begging and asking, please, do something to help us and stop hurting us. We keep coming back because we care about our people. Our hearts are with our people. We care about their welfare, their safety, their health, things that we don't have that we need. So we're asking you to please, please help us and the people that represent us. As I look up here, There's 4 people up here that represent us, elected, and then there's a 5th. So to me, that's majority. Thank you. We need help. I would like to say good evening to everyone. My name is Sarah Broadnax. I live on the east side. I've heard everybody talk, and I didn't hear anybody mention what Jesus said. I'm going to get right down to it. I believe in God. I love Jesus. Jesus talks about loving your neighbor. He's not talking about being selfish. If you love God, you love people, you'll prove it. There's no time for selfishness. So when Jesus returns, what will you say to him? Because you got to answer for yourself. So I'm coming from a Christian point of view tonight. We're all about self. Me, my, I want. While you run over and mess over. And when it's all over, where will you spend? Think about it. Where will you spend eternity? There was a price paid for every one of us. No man created us. If you look at your body, this fearful and wonderful made body was made by God. No man made it. Maybe your mother and father, whoever came together and had you. Think about love. You got to give an account. And he allows men and women to have authority. So what are you going to do with it? I'm talking to every one of you out there. You want this for yourself. You want this for that one. I live in this neighborhood. I live in that neighborhood. And you just saying, forget everybody else. When your time comes to leave this body, because your spirit lives in you. I'm looking at your flesh, but the spirit looks out of the eyes. So I'm saying, I don't have time for hate and fighting. Because I could have been gone on December the 24th. I had an accident. I thank God that I'm alive. I don't have broke bones or nothing. My car is total. It's time. If we don't get it together, it never will. This city has people in it, and that's what God loves. He loves people. It's not the city. It's the people that was, whether they were born here or not. So when you come to America, then you respect the Americans, and then we'll respect you. But I'm talking about love. L-O-V-E. You won't make it without God. You can try it. But when the end comes, you got to stand. And Jesus said, you won't get to the Father unless you come through me. So I'm saying tonight, if you don't know Jesus, time for you to get started. Because you don't know he could come tomorrow. You don't know when he's coming. We fighting about roadways and trucks. My brother used to drive trucks. I know about truck drivers. A lot of them do what they want and go where they want. So like I said, think about your salvation while we're talking about everything tonight. Salvation is the most important thing for man on this earth. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening?
Good evening. My name is Mary White, and I live here in Joliet, Illinois. I am Vice President of the East Side Neighborhood Council. To our mayor, our district councilwoman, Susan Abera, and every council person here. I just want to say that on the east side and on the south side, we are trying to build up our side of the city. And we want to work cohesively with every entity as possible in the building up of our side of the city. Beautification, housing, security, employment, all of these things. But when you have North Point and these people coming in, they go against that. It tears our side of the town up. And if you lived here at any point in time, you can see the destruction that is going on in our streets. And we are a people, we work to build up our side of the town and to help build up Joliet as a whole, because we love our city. We love the people who are here. But we want to work cohesively with everyone. And so we're just hoping that you would be able to recognize when someone is trying to move in to cause division, separation, and destruction of any people in our city. We ought to stand against it wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to council committee reports. First is Communication, Technology, and Information Systems.
The CTIS committee met on January 10th, 2024 in the executive conference room. The CTIS committee consists of Cesar Cardenas, Susanna Ibarra, and myself, and we were all present. We had 3 agenda items to discuss: the contract with CDW-G for Mimecast email and web securities annual renewal in the amount of $37,500. The city receives over 400,000 emails. This system checks for spam, malware, bad attachments, bad links, restricts unauthorized websites, and it's overall our cybersecurity system. So obviously it's very important to us. Contract 2 was Sierra ITS for $250,000. This is a company we contract through for added IT help when needed on projects. One of our projects that we bring in help from this company so that it doesn't take away from our regular IT department. One of them was when we converted from Windows 7 to 10, which was a giant project. So another thing we discussed was a contract for CDWG for Nutanix upgrade for $150,300. This is the equipment we use for the computer power and storage. We currently also store data for over 220 cameras throughout the city. So obviously it has a lot of storage to take, or a lot of storage that we need. We currently have 4 units that are end of life, which they usually last about 6 years each. We will only need to replace with 2 due to the upgrade in storage capacity. We discussed all these contracts. There is sufficient funds in the IT contractual service budget. The committee voted unanimously to bring it to the full council for approval. We also had, just not for discussion, not for final action, just an update on our council chambers, the executive conference room, and the IT upgrades. Hardware has been ordered. We're expecting it to arrive within 6 to 8 weeks. The overall project should take about 12 weeks. Most of it is done offsite with ADVG, configuring the equipment, then it's brought on-site for installation. The installation will be done between our council meetings, so we're not expecting any problems to keep going as we normally do. It's expected to take about 1.5 weeks to install once it arrives on site. Is there anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I just wanted to say that this team, CTIS, they're not really the front lines for anyone here or anyone watching, really. They're the front lines for us, and they're behind the scenes, so I don't feel like they get enough accolades when we get to council and we cannot open our computer or we're getting a weird email, and I just want to say what a great job they do. Not only that, they never make me feel inept because I'm not that technologically advanced and I do need a lot of help. So I just want to give them kudos for everything they do. They're just so amazing. Thank you.
That's it. Anything, Cesar? That's our report.
Next is the Finance Committee report.
Okay, Finance Committee met here this evening at 5:30. Councilman Hudron, listen to me. Mudron got stuck in California. His flights were canceled. So I chaired the committee with Councilman Hug and myself. And Mr. Singh, who is the financial director here, and also was present was, name escapes me. Armando. What's his last name? Oh, well, sorry. His last name escapes me. It was Armando. Anyway, he was here as well. Anyway, we discussed the December financial statement, and the year-end report is due because our accrual accounting method, it will not be here just yet. We will not close the 2023 fiscal year until February. The general fund operations were based on information date. We expect the general fund to end the year better than expected, which is good news. Remember that this is partially due to timing of projects that will still need to be carried forward to 24, so we will know that end result in March. Sewer and water operations are performing according to the budget, and this operating surplus is used for capital improvements and debt payments. And then also parking operations, the preliminary info shows a small deficit of $670. The library grant was notified remaining that they did get the remaining amount of their grant, so they approved it, that they will be getting our money, and by ordinance to pay off the remaining remodeling bonds that we took out for those folks. And then we had discussion, it was brought up by Mr. Singh about the museum grant operation that they'll be coming up in February to vote on. And it was suggested that maybe we do with the museum grant like we're doing with the Rialto grant, that now that particular grant is going to be used for operations only. So it was suggested, you want to explain it, Mr. Singh? How we're going to do it like we do with the Rialto?
So the draft agreement will basically be a reimbursement where they would submit invoices for the costs that are outlined in the grant.
And it's for operations only?
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I said that right. Because I'm not usually the finance director, it's Pam Mudrin's job, so. And anything else, Councilman Hug?
No.
That was it?
No, ask Councilman Hudrin, though.
I know Councilman Hudrin. All right, that concludes our report for finance for today. Pat, get back here. I need you.
Land Use and Legislative Committee report.
Okay, I'm up again. All right, so let's see. On January 11th, we met here in council chambers at 4:30. It was Councilwoman Reardon and myself. Councilman Guerrero was absent that day. And we discussed several items. Number one was the honorary street name request for Louise Coleman Drive, and that was unanimously approved. And that went to council the following day, and we did already. We also approved that already by council, and that was unanimous. Then there was a proposal for honorary street name, the second item was a proposal to amend the bidding requirements to eliminate the need for pre-qualification under certain circumstances. This provision has become largely obsolete and has cost the city money at times, and its purpose can still be achieved by less restrictive means. So this item was approved, and it appears on tonight's agenda for approval. And the second one, so the city, Councilwoman Quillman.
That's you.
Oh my goodness. It's been a long day, I apologize. We unanimously approved that to go to city council. And the third item was a proposal to amend our truck length restrictions to restrict the length of trucks on Chicago Street between Jefferson and Ohio Streets to 42 feet. So this will help us restrict full-size semi-trailers from access on the remodeled Chicago Street while at the same time complying with IDOT intersection requirements from state routes. This item was also approved and recommended to go to the full council as well. And I believe that concludes our report. Anything you want to add?
No, that's it.
It's a busy day, busy day. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Public Service Committee report.
To be clear, I just want to make sure everybody understands that I currently, as I deliver this report, will be speaking for both Councilman Hug and Councilman Hudrin. So I'm covering all bases.
From now on, you will be known as that.
There we go. The Public Service Committee met today at 4:30 here in the council chambers. In attendance was Councilman Guerrero, and myself. Councilman Mudrin was unable to make it. He is stranded with a canceled flight elsewhere. Very short, but I'm gonna ask, I will ask indulgence from the council to have a brief presentation, if you will, nothing fancy, from Allison Swisher, but we'll get to that in a moment. There was 3 items under the contracts. One was to take advantage of the second year option on the sewer cleaning and inspection program, which includes going through sewers. We've been doing it for approximately 8 years with cameras to identify the areas that need to be replaced or reinforced. So that was for a contract of $770,000. And at the end of this year, with this final contract, we will have inspected every mile, every foot, every yard of our sewers. So that's good news. And we'll continue to respond to what we've collected over the last number of years in doing the appropriate repairs. We also approved for tree trimming or actually recommended for approval for tree trimming for 24-25 for a contract of about $154,000 to Arbortech Landscape Services Incorporated. And we looked at and recommended for approval a payment of about $45,000 to Troy Township for the Timberline Drive resurfacing for our portion. We have a number of streets in Joliet, Timberline Drive, as well as another well-known one would be Gaylord, where for 300 feet it's Joliet, for the next 300 feet it's Township, for the next 300 feet it's Crest Hill. So we usually try to work together when one of the entities work together or resurface, that we get ours done and do it all in one contract, and that's what that is all about. So we did look at those items. We had 3 change orders. 2 were final balancing for the 2023 sidewalk and curb replacement project. And we looked at $190,000, just under, for a reconstruction coordination on the Joliet Water and Sewer Relocation Feasibility Study, which is required because of the IDOT billion-dollar project along I-80. So that entire amount will be refunded, according to IDOT, will be refunded back to us. They will cover the entire amount because they're requiring us to do that. I really don't have anything else on there. Did I miss anything of nuts and bolts? I want Allison to come up. Anything you wanted to add?
No, just as we asked Allison.
Okay. Because we did, the 2 of us, look at all these items, and all of them were sent forward to this council with our unanimous recommendation for approval. Allison, if you could step up. There's 2 items we wanted you to discuss. Under the Rethink Water Conservation Incentive Program, we want to encourage people, you can explain it and how they can participate and what the benefit is to them. And then the Councilman Guerrero would also ask for maybe some tips on anybody who may have frozen pipes or experience.
Okay, so first for the Rethink Conservation Program, something we rolled out last fall. So each quarter we have a new challenge for water customers to participate in. And by completing that challenge, they can be eligible to win a prize. So this Q4 last year was the first quarter that we did this program. And the challenge was to sign up for our customer water portal. This water portal is a great tool for residents to use to track their water usage, set alerts and alarms when a certain amount of water has been used. And, it's a good tool. We encourage everyone to sign up for that. So we ended up having 896 total participants. Well, we have 896 people registered for the customer water portal. So out of 45,000 accounts, we still have a lot of encouragement to do for the residents. But we did have a winner. Anthony and Jill Parker did win, and congratulate them for participating, and they won a $50 Semino's gift card. So for first quarter this year, we have a new challenge. That challenge is to install a water efficient fixture, shower head or toilet, washing machine. And so we encourage everyone to participate in that. There's lots of information on the website about how to participate. We also have a kids challenge to do some artwork that we would recognize at a council meeting and use in some of our literature. So again, really good tools for people to start to explore, especially as we see, water rates increasing. Now is time you can really, the best way to control your water bill is to conserve water. So.
And Allison, real quick, could you tell them exactly how they can actually take advantage of the portal, how they sign up?
That's right. If you go to the website, you do need to have your most recent water bill, and then when you sign up, you will have real-time access to your water use. So you can see on an hourly basis how much water you're using, and then, as I mentioned, you can set alerts. If I use this much water per day, send me an alert. Especially people who at wintertime go away, they like to make sure that there's no unusual water usage in their homes. They can set those alerts for that also. And it's free, there's no cost to participate in the program.
Thank you.
So switching gears, as we all know, it's very cold. And when we have these, below, sub-zero temperatures, there are times where residents can experience a frozen water line or a frozen water meter. This typically occurs when the line or meter is installed in an unheated area, such as a crawl space. Right now, we have about 20 of these issues ongoing currently, and definitely the city can assist you, but it's ultimately the homeowner's responsibility to take care of the issue. We have a lot of tips that we've been sending out. The easiest way to correct the problem is to use a hairdryer. Just put the hairdryer right on the water pipe. Do not use an open flame. That's dangerous. You can also try and safely use a space heater to free up the frozen water line. So we have more information available on our website about how to do that. It can definitely give you some tips for a more permanent solution, and so that residents can be preventative and install some things that can help it from happening in the future.
One other thing before you go. I had just found out about this prior to making the committee meeting. A resident out along Essington Road had contacted me. There was ultimately 3 gentlemen walking neighborhoods, going behind houses, and claiming that they were looking into water meters. The police were contacted, and they looked into it. I'm not sure what came of that yet. We can find out later. Please explain to people that when somebody says anything to do with water meters, anything like that in the city of Joliet, what should that person look like?
Yes, so everyone who works for the city or as a contractor or a city employee will have a city ID badge. All of our contractors who would be approaching your home do carry that badge. So please, before you allow anyone into your home, please ask for that badge. Fortunately, the residents that were approached by these gentlemen did ask for an ID, and the people said they didn't have any and then left. So again, we just need to be very vigilant because people get aware that we're doing a lot of programs right now, like our water meter replacement program, and try and take advantage.
And this happened up and down if you will, the North Essington Road corridor.
Essington, Thomas Hickey.
But once they're chased away, they can go anywhere in the city. So everybody, like Allison said, needs to be vigilant. Don't let them in. And unless you made a call because you're having a problem with your water, I doubt very much any city employee in this weather is going to go out there for a routine visit of some sort. So certainly, and always call the city if you have questions, or call the police if they're suspicious. Please, am I correct, Chief? Call the police if they're suspicious. Thank you. Thank you, Allison.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's my report.
Thank you.
Moving on to consent agenda. Approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the council meeting held on January 2nd, 2024 stand approved as recorded. Invoices to be paid. It's recommended this item be approved. Council Memo 124, award of contract for the Cathedral Area Phase 1A Water Main Improvements Project to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $1,921,772.14. Council Memo 2-24, award of professional services contract for the 2024-2025 National Bridge Inspection Standards Program to Willett Hoffman and Associates in the amount of $27,720. Council Memo 3-24, award of contract to CDWG for Nutanix upgrade in the amount of $150,300. Council Memo 4-24, award of contract to Sierra ITS for information technology contract services in the amount of $250,000. Council Memo 5-24, award of contract to CDWG for Mimecast email and web security annual renewal in the amount of $37,300. Council Memo 6-24, approve the purchase of 3 Ford Expeditions from Dear Razio Ford in the amount of $178,560.78. Council Memo 7-24, approve the extension of a fire turnout gear agreement with Air One Equipment Company for 2024 in the amount of $102,495. Council Memo 8-24, Amendment Number 1 to the Professional Services Agreement for the 2025 Water Main Rehabilitation Program for detailed design engineering services to Baxter and Woodman in the amount of $1,434,700. Council Memo 9-24, Amendment Number 2 to the Professional Services Agreement for the 2024 Water Main Rehabilitation Program for construction engineering support services to Baxter and Woodman in the amount of $172,400. Council Memo 10-24, Amendment Number 2 to the construction testing soil boring services for the 2024 Water Main Rehabilitation Program to Seco Consultants in the amount of $7,620. Council Memo 11-24, change order number 1 for the Helen Avenue, Charity Avenue to Mills Road roadway improvement project, 2022 MFT, to PT Farrow Construction Company, reducing the amount by $21,417.65, and payment request number 3 and final in the amount of $13,059.82. Council Memo 12-24, authorization to fund draw 8 for tax increment financing district number 7 in the amount of $1,432,365.47. It's recommended Council Memos 1-24 through 12-24 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under agenda items, first is Council Memo 14-24, award of contract for the Black Road Phase 2 Water Main Improvements Project to Len Cox and Sons Excavating in the amount of $2,850,160.18. It's recommended this contract be approved.
Mayor, let me. So first, apologies to my colleagues for making a long meeting that much longer. Typically, in the past, these contracts would have been included under the consent agenda. I was the one who previously had requested that they be split out as individual items. But by my rough estimation, just doing the math quickly here, these contracts add up to, again, I didn't get the exact math, but somewhere in the neighborhood of $80 million. And so I think it's worthwhile that we take a bit of time to discuss this, and if we could have some explanation from staff, so that our audience, we've got quite a full house tonight, that they understand how and why it is that we're spending $80 million in one night. So this question sort of extends for the next, I think, 10 or 12 agenda items here that all fall under the category of water main improvements, different areas of the neighborhood. But if we could have someone from staff just explain what those water main improvements are, why they're necessary, sort of what the scope of work is.
Yes, so this is one of the years of our water main replacement program that is required by our non-revenue water reduction plan that was approved by the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. This is a critical component of our plan to reduce our non-revenue water to less than 10%, which is required by our allocation to receive Lake Michigan water. So we are implementing a very aggressive water main replacement program that began last year through 2030. And basically we will be replacing all water mains throughout the city that were constructed prior to 1970. The leaky water mains and mains that break are suspected to be the largest contributor to that non-revenue water. So this year we made a commitment to IDNR to accelerate the program even further. So in 2024 and 2025, you'll see over 25 miles of water main each year that is being replaced. So I know a lot of people experienced the construction that we had last year. Last year we replaced about 16 miles, so we're going to be doing 10, even 10 more miles next year and for 2025. So you will definitely see this happening as you go throughout the city. But again, it's a critical component of that plan that will allow us to get to Lake Michigan water.
So, I think everyone here in the council is familiar with the water project. Anybody in the audience that's joining us for the first time or hasn't been here in quite some time to follow what we've been up to lately, as Allison said, these are absolutely necessary contracts that we have to issue in order to have that Lake Michigan water allocation. There's a very strict timeline that we're operating under, so it's of the utmost importance that we get these projects completed and we get them done in a timely fashion. So I know, again, that there's certainly a sticker shock for people who might be flipping through the agenda and saying, why are we spending $5 million here, $6 million there? I think it's important that we discuss that so that everybody understands that this isn't just a frivolous decision. We're not just issuing out multi-million-dollar contracts just because. This is one of the most essential functions of our city government here, and that's to ensure that we have clean water to all of our residents. So,
and these contracts are also inclusive of lead water service line replacements. So as we go through neighborhoods and replace the water mains, if there's lead water service lines, we replace the full water service line at no cost to the resident. So that's also a very expensive endeavor, which we are very proud to say by 2030 we will have removed all of the lead from our system.
Right. So there's quite a bit of work that goes into this, opening up the streets, doing the work, patching the streets back up. And I know that previously we had passed an ordinance that would prevent utility companies from tearing up those streets right after we've done them. So there's a lot of infrastructure work that's going to be done here in our city in the next coming years, but it's absolutely necessary. And in fact, it's a good thing that we're accelerating this program. So anyone else has anything to add or questions?
Is that okay? Sure. I want to know, is this done by bidding process, is that correct?
Yes.
If anyone on this council wanted to see the other bids rather than just the winning bid, can we take a look at those?
Yes, I believe the council memo lists all the bids that were received.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor? Sure. One thing I'd clarify, if anybody's wondering what the term non-revenue water means, it just means water that's leaking out of the system. In other words, if every year we bring in 1 billion gallons of water into our system and distribute it, but only 900 million is getting paid, we're losing no revenue for 100 million gallons. We got to find out where that's leaking, why it's not being paid for. Generally, it's leaks. It could be some people that maybe jury rig their water meter and steal. I mean, that's a very small possibility. Generally, it's water leaks, and that's why we're on this very expansive program to update water mains that date back anywhere from 50 to 100 years ago. So that's what non-revenue water means. It just means water leaking out of the system. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 14-24, award of contract for the Black Road Acres Phase 2 Water Main Improvements Project to Len Cox & Sons Excavating in the amount of $2,850,160.18?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 15-24, award of contract for the Bridal Wreath Acres Water Main Improvements Project to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $5,076,552.36. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 16-24, award of contract for the North Broadway Street, North Center Street, Western Avenue Water Main Improvements Project to PT Farrell Construction in the amount of $6,737,960.81. It's recommended this contract be approved.
Second.
It's Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Navarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 17-24, award of contract for the Burr Oaks Water Main Improvements Project to Len Cox and Sons Excavating in the amount of $3,148,711.30. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarra.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 18-24, award of contract for the Cathedral Area Phase 1B Water Main Improvements Project to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $2,046,059.84. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Quick question. Can I vote on this because I live on Western?
Yes.
Okay. I vote aye. Just
Mayor
checking.
Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 19-24, award of contract for the Forest Park Phase 3 Water Main Improvements Project to M&J Underground in the amount of $4,964,950. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 20-24, award of contract for the Garnsey Park Phase 5A Water Main Improvements Project to construction by Camco in the amount of $3,092,446.27. It's recommended this contract be approved.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 21-24, award of contract for the Garnsey Park Phase 5B Water Main Improvements Project to construction by Camco in the amount of $2,653,994.75. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 22-24, award of contract for the Hickory Creek East Water Main Improvements Project to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $8,646,715.43. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 23-24, award of contract for the Idleside Water Main Improvements Project to Len Cox and Sons Excavating in the amount of $4,468,713.33. It's recommended this contract be approved.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 24-24, award of contract for the Krings Acres Phase 2A Water Main Improvements Project to J. Congdon Sewer Services in the amount of $2,868,193.10. It's recommended this contract be approved.
Second.
It's been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Yes.
Councilwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 25-24, award of contract for the Krings Acres Phase 2B Water Main Improvements Project to Trine Construction in the amount of $2,950,550. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 26-24, award of contract for the Parkview North Water Main Improvements Project to PT Farrow Construction Company in the amount of $7,588,214.54. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 27-24, award of contract for the Plainfield Road, Theodore Street to Black Road Water Main Improvements Project to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $9,391,100. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 28-24, award of contract for the Spring Creek Phase 1 Water Main Improvements Project to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $7,994,694.14. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 29-24, award of contract for the Bernardo Park Area Water Main Improvements Project to Steve Spees Construction in the amount of $4,808,304.70. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 30-24, award of contract for the West Park Water Main Improvements Project to Aries in the amount of $2,985,828. It's recommended this contract be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 31-24. Award of professional services agreement for construction-related engineering services for the water main and lead water service replacement programs to Burns and McDonnell Engineering Company in the amount of $3,818,465.98. It's recommended this contract be approved.
Mayor,
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify, and Allison, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty 99% sure I'm right. Sometimes there's confusion by some of the residents. The city-owned pipes, the delivery system that the transmission system the city uses, never had any lead in it. The lead is only in private service lines to the house. The city has been proactive, Allison and her department, over the last number of years, in offering no-cost replacement of the private lines, and that is reimbursable or convertible. It's a federal loan that turns into a grant once it's spent for that purpose. Did I say that correctly, Allison? So just people remember, there was never any lead in any of the city-owned portion of the water system. It was only in the private lines coming from the water system into your house in some of the older neighborhoods. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 31-24, award of professional services agreement for construction-related engineering services for the water main and lead water service replacement programs to Burns and McDonnell Engineering in the amount of $3,818,465.98?
So moved.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next on under public hearings. Council Memo 33-24, public hearing for and request for approval of an ordinance establishing the 2024 Joliet Special Service Area Number 1, Bridge Street, Nicholson Street to Center Street. This is a public hearing, so comments are in order at this time. Seeing none, let the record show the hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve an ordinance establishing the 2024 Joliet Special Service Area Number 1, Bridge Street, Nicholson Street to Center Street?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 34-24, public hearing for and request for approval of an ordinance establishing the 2024 Joliet Special Service Area Number 2, Adela Avenue, Washington Street to 2nd Avenue, and 2nd Avenue, Adela Avenue to Court Street. This is a public hearing, so comments would be in order at this time. Seeing none, let the record show the hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve an ordinance establishing the 2024 Joliet Special Service Area Number 2, Adela Avenue, 2nd Avenue?
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under ordinances, Council Memo 36-24, ordinances associated with Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Phase 26 subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving the preliminary plat, an ordinance approving the final plat, and an ordinance approving the recording plat of Centerpoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Phase 26 subdivision. The petitioner is here if you have any questions. Staff is recommending approval.
Vote to approve.
Second.
Been
I
motioned
want to make some comments before we go into vote, please. You know, we sit here to represent the 150,000 folks that live in our community. And while Centerpoint's been here a long time, and now we've got North Point moving in with their project, our biggest concern is the truck traffic. And the truck traffic is becoming a problem that needs to be solved. So myself and Beth Beatty and Chris Regis in some cases have met with both North Point and Centerpoint. We need to come up with a solution that's gonna work for we, the city. And everybody's gonna think the same way when we do that. We've also met with the county officials. We've had conversations with the state officials. We're gonna engage Omer, who is the head of IDOT. All the Will County mayors are gonna get together through the Wilco group. But what we're trying to do is come up with a truck traffic plan that's gonna take us to the future. We know we're the largest inland port in the country right now, and it's not gonna slow down. We have all these railheads coming in here, and I feel the concern. I've met with some of you out here, and we're all in the same boat. We're trying to find a way to keep them off 53, keep them off Briggs Street. We need a plan that's gonna work. I think the bridge is a great idea. I call that the tip of the funnel. So we've got these trucks coming everywhere they can to get into the bridge or not into the bridge, using 53, using Briggs. We've turned down some projects on 53 that were rather large, and it was because we can't continue to do the things we're doing and expect something to change. So we're really working hard to look at a long-term plan to control the traffic. I've met with some of the mayors in some of the communities around us to talk about bringing us all together to do this. So when we look at what's going on here, we've walked into this as some of the new councils and the new mayor to try and come up with a solution for all of us. And I want you to know, we're working very hard to come up with a plan to figure out what this area is gonna look like. And I'm talking about the region. Joliet's 21% of the population of Will County. We have an obligation to be partners with everyone around us. And that's what we intend to do. Now, this cold point storage that they're looking at in North Point, that's on the west side of 53. We understand that. There's gonna be some questions on that. There's still a lot of questions on the east side project that's in the works. We understand that. We have to come up with a solution to make this work for all of us. I don't like these trucks coming up Ottawa Street and coming up Scott and tearing up our towns, coming through the neighborhoods where they don't belong. We're trying all we can to try and figure out how to stop this. We've got interstates and tollways and now a toll bridge to control the traffic where they should go. And we have to come up with a plan. The stakeholders in the area are willing to work with us, the county, the cities, the state. And we're gonna work hard to try and come up with something that as this grows out, we're gonna have to have a plan so that we're safe on our streets and that we can get around this community when we wanna go, where we wanna go, without all the truck traffic. So as we get into these votes tonight, I want you to know, we have met with North Point, with Center Point, with other people, and we will come up with a plan. They've agreed to work with us. You know, the trucks are here. We have to control them. And I hear exactly what you're saying, and I'm certainly listening, and we want to make sure that we all work together to get to the same end. So as we make these votes tonight, they're not going to be easy. But we know that there's a lot of work to do to make sure that we do things right for the next 20 years and beyond. And I just want you to know that we are working on that. We don't publicize it, but a lot of work's been done in the back rooms trying to get this thing figured out. And there will be investment made by all parties to understand how to make this work for all of us. We represent you, the 150,000 people. I want you to know that. No matter what happens, that's what our job is. So before we get in these votes, I just wanted to make that clear to you all. Thank you.
There was motion and seconded to approve Council Memo 36-24 ordinances associated with Center Point Intermodal Center at Joliet Phase 26 subdivision. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Huggs?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 37-24, ordinances associated with Center Point Intermodal Center at Joliet Phase 27 subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving the preliminary plat, an ordinance approving the final plat, and an ordinance approving the recording plat of Center Point Intermodal Center at Joliet Phase 27 subdivision. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
The motion seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero?
No.
Councilman Hugg?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried 7-1. Next is Council Memo 38-24, an ordinance approving the reclassification of 4001 Brandon Road from ITC Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park to ITB Intermodal Terminal Transportation Equipment zoning. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hugg?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
No.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried 7-1. Next is Council Memo 39-24, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow an auto body repair shop located at 115 East Clinton Street. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned seconded to approve. Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Just to clarify, if I may, Ms. Troy, The only, mechanical things that they'll be doing are the 15 cars that they will have on board. No,
Totally different.
it's totally different now?
Yeah, no, it's a different location.
We have
Not
two
the
on the
same
agenda.
thing.
Oh, excuse me. All right, never mind then. Aye. I lost my spot.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 40-24, ordinances for vacation of easements associated with the development of the South Chicago Logistics Subdivision and resolution approving an annexation agreement for 19940 West Knoll Road, 19922 West Knoll Road, and 19808 West Knoll Road. It's recommended said ordinance and resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
No.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
No.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-2. Next is Council Memo 41-24. Ordinances associated with the annexation of 19940 West Knoll Road, 19922 West Knoll Road, and 19808 West Knoll Road, and development of the South Chicago Logistics Subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving the annexation of 19940 West Knoll Road, an ordinance approving the classification of 19940 West Knoll Road to I-1 Light Industrial Zoning, an ordinance approving the annexation of 19922 West Knoll Road, an ordinance approving the classification of 19922 West Knoll Road to I-1 Light Industrial Zoning, an ordinance approving the annexation of 19808 West Knoll Road, an ordinance approving the classification of 19808 West Knoll Road to I-1 Light Industrial Zoning, an ordinance approving the preliminary plat, an ordinance approving the final plat, and an ordinance approving the recording plat of South Chicago Logistics Subdivision. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
No.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
No.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-2. Next is Council Memo 42-24, ordinances associated with the Cherry Hill Business Park West Unit 6 subdivision, Phase 2. This includes an ordinance approving the final plat and an ordinance approving the recording plat of the Cherry Hill Business Park West Unit 6 subdivision, Phase 2. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
No.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-1. Next is Council Memo 43-24, ordinances associated with Rock Run Crossings Lot 3 re-subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving the preliminary plat, an ordinance approving the final plat, and an ordinance approving the recording plat of Rock Run Crossings Lot 3 re-subdivision. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 44-24, an ordinance repealing Chapter 2, Article 13, Division 2, Section 2-447E, pre-qualification ordinance of the City of Joliet Code of Ordinances, repealing subsection regarding local pre-qualification. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
No.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
No.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-2. Next is Council Memo 45-24, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a used car dealership located at 1101 North Broadway Street. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved. Second.
So, back to my original question. Just to clarify, Mr. Torrey, the only mechanical things will be on are the only 15 cars that they will have to be sold. Those are the only ones that can be worked on. It's just not a mechanic shop, correct?
Wouldn't be a public garage.
That's
There's a condition
of
added.
that. Just wanted
Yes.
to clarify that because I was asked again today.
Yes, they could work on the vehicles that they're selling.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 45-24, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a used car dealership located at 1101 North Broadway Street. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 46-24, an ordinance approving a reapproval of a preliminary plat of Cadence Crossing subdivision for an additional 3 years. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
In motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Ibarra.
No.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-1. Moving on to resolutions, Council Memo 48-24, resolution approving Plan Year 2023 Community Development Block Grant with Spanish Community Center. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 49-24, a resolution approving Plan Year 2020 Community Development Block Grant Subrecipient Agreement with Spanish Community Center. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 50-24, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the Joliet Police Department and the City of Aurora Police Department regarding the use of National Integrated Ballistic Information Network. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman
Aye.
Reardon, sorry. Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
I'd just like to take this time to thank Joliet staff, all the guys and women and men that were out there clearing the snow, clearing the ice, keeping everyone safe. We had some of our unhoused people we were able to get shelter for, and all these directors sitting here had a hand in making sure all of that ran smoothly. Their teams are amazing, and I just don't think that they get the recognition that they deserve all the time, but I just wanted to thank them. And on behalf of myself, thank you for doing a great job for the residents of Joliet. That's all I have tonight.
Next is public comments. Pat Mead. would ask that one person come up at a time, and everyone is given 4 minutes each.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council Joliet. I come before you today as a citizen of Joliet, as one who was educated here, one who obtained her nursing license here, and one who is a nurse. I may be short of stature, but I'm strong and I will fight. And I represent nurses that are also as diligent and as steadfast. We have come here before you before, nurses have come. Today I bring with me Joliet, different factions. Do you realize that at St. Joe's, we represent the underserved? Our doors are open for anyone who cannot afford to receive care. That is why we are there. And most importantly, we are there because we care, we are qualified, we look at that patient as 360 degrees of need. And we try and we fight every day to make sure that there is no aspect of that patient's needs, wants, or expectations that we cannot fill. So I'm going to step away and I'm going to let some of our patients speak, our community members speak as to what this hospital means to the city. When you are ill, you don't want to be in an ambulance and having them call around to find a facility for you to go. As Mr. Mayor just said, how many individuals we serve in Joliet. This is why we are here. This has been going on since May. That's 8 months of uncertainty, of frustration, but we continue to fight and we shall, because this is what we do. Nursing is not just a profession, it is a calling. And we are here to call upon you to represent your city and listen to your people and see how they feel about the care they receive or what happened when we weren't there and maybe the opportunities that were missed when we were away. We don't wish to go away, but we are ready to do whatever it takes to make sure that our patients are safe. We have been to every entity in Illinois. We've been downstate. We have been speaking to all our legislators. We have spoken to our physicians. We've talked to our communities. We have tried to enlighten every aspect of what this discussion and this contract negotiation has meant to us. It is not about us. It is what we perceive to be fair and righteous to these citizens of Joliet, Illinois, and the surrounding vicinity, Will County. People come here for care. They come here because we are qualified and we do the job. And our job is to heal you and to support you so that you can go back home to your families and continue your life as whatever your expectations were. So I am going to step away and let a piece of Joliet come and represent itself to let you know that St. Joseph Hospital for 141 years has been here serving the community, and that's what our intent is. Thank you.
If anyone else would like to speak under public comments, I would ask that you form a line in the center of the aisle and come up individually.
Hi, I'm Robin Richards. Thank you for hearing us again. This is my, I think 3rd or 4th time that I've been here about this matter. Again, we've been in contract negotiations since May. And in my opinion, I don't feel like we've moved very far. Ascension is still pushing. As you know, we've already been given their last, best, and final offer, which we voted down by a huge percentage. And they've told us that, well, this may not be accurate terminology, but basically tough, that's what we're gonna do. The wages still aren't where they need to be. And honestly, the biggest, most concerning part to me and my coworkers, I have been at St. Joe's for 22 years, currently in same-day surgery, is this idea that they want to pull us across service lines to other areas of the hospital. Basically, how we feel is that they consider a nurse is a nurse is a nurse. Doesn't matter if, say, I was a labor and delivery nurse. I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to be pulled to ICU. A former coworker of mine brought it to my attention that, I believe she said it was either Kentucky or Tennessee, how nurses are being fined for mistakes that they make, but maybe they weren't supposed to be in that area. But again, a nurse is a nurse is a nurse. So how is Ascension gonna back us up if that happens? If we're being pulled across service lines and something bad happens, are they gonna back us up? Is there gonna be some sort of malpractice insurance put in place for us? Again, their answer is just to pull a nurse anywhere you can pull them, and that'll take care of the staffing problem. That won't. We need better pay. We need a better contract in order to get more nurses to come. As I've said last time I was here, my daughter is a 3-year, basically still a new grad. She is on 7 West. The staffing problem is there as well as everywhere else, and she is getting close to burnout already. Again, only been a nurse for 3 years. We need the young nurses. We need the young nurses to stay. We need more of them to want to come, and that's just not happening. And they just don't seem to care. We're here asking you guys to continue to support us and do whatever you can to bring Ascension back to the table, because again, we have no further negotiation dates, and we certainly could use some. They want to implement this new last best and final offer, I believe, the 21st, so we will see what happens with that. But anything you guys could do, we would very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to share today an experience I had today to me happen. You know, with my mother dying and my mother's estate going through, you know, my brother evilly sold it out from underneath me and that, and without the approval of me and my other brothers, by this Whimsy Joliet LLC is the one that bought it, who last year you guys approved to have a truck terminal built next to my mom's house. You know, well, I wanted to be here, of course, and nobody would tell me when that meeting was. So you guys approved it last year, but then now they secretly bought my mom's place, and they went through the eviction process to get me evicted, to which I was never served with eviction notice. They snuck it through the court. I didn't find out about till I seen the eviction order in the mail. So I went to the courthouse to see what kind of papers they had and everything on this. They were trying to serve me. I looked, and it's like this private server that they use. They did not go through the Will County Sheriff, you know, using them as a server. They went through a private server thing to serve me the eviction. But of course, I didn't get the eviction notice. I never got it. So they snuck it through the court, and I seen on the court papers when I went to the courthouse to check, and private server puts down on it that he observed 2 trucks in my driveway. I have 4 trucks in my driveway and a Jeep SUV in my driveway. So that private server lied completely on those court papers. And so they end up getting their court order, the eviction order on me, because I didn't show up for court. It was the default, because I didn't show up. And it's hard to show up when you don't know nothing about it. So yesterday was supposed to be out. I was waiting for the sheriff to come. I figured the sheriff's not coming in these frigid, cold temperatures. We got sub-zero temperatures, right? I mean, why would they put somebody out in this cold weather? So today, somebody pulled in the driveway. They're knocking on the door. I'm trying to get down to the door. I get to the back door, and just like I get down the back door comes slamming in at me. They broke the back door in. But to my surprise, it was not the Will County Sheriff that did it. I looked and I said, "You're not the Will County Sheriff. You're not supposed to be doing this." But they told me I gotta get out. I'm standing there in my pajamas. I gotta leave. They wouldn't even let me go back in and get dressed. They threatened me, said, "You gotta get out because we're gonna bulldoze the place down tomorrow." Now this is the Whimsy Joliet LLC, Whimsy Trucking that bought that, and you guys got approved last year for that truck terminal. And I'm like, well, you ain't the sheriff. You ain't supposed to do this. So I got some things out. They ended up calling the sheriff out on me. And then I went down the road there and got down the next road. The Will County Sheriff's behind me, flagging me down and told me that they violated my rights because they're not supposed to be the ones doing this. They're not supposed to be the ones that try and get me out. The Will County Sheriff is supposed to. They were supposed to go through the Will County Sheriff process, the civil processor, and they were supposed to be the ones trying to get me out. So they bashed in the back door of the house. It will not shut now. There's frigid cold air coming in the house now. Already in 2 hours, the pipes are already freezing up in the house. All because of this. Then they got, how could I do this? Why would you let this company in Joliet? Is this the kind of company you want in Joliet? I advise that you shut down Whimsy Trucking and don't even let them open their truck terminal that they're still working on next door. Because of this evil act they just did today, and they're lying throughout the whole court process of buying my mom's place and this eviction process. Please close Whimsy Trucking down after this evil act. Now they've got me, froze me out of my house now and everything. And of all temperatures, and like the Will County Sheriff said, they violated. They did a wrong act there.
There's a line in the back.
My name is Mary White, and I'm here to talk about St. Joe's. And I just want to share an experience that I had there a couple of weeks ago. I was in the emergency room with someone who was going through something. And while we were in the room where our doors were never closed, and I don't know the attendants, I don't know who it was who was there taking care of someone else, but they stood right in front of the room while this patient whom we were with was really going through something, was really distressed about what they were going through. And the attendant stood right in front of her door, talking really loud about what was going on with another patient. That's a violation of the HIPAA law and of confidentiality, and that shouldn't have been going on. It was very surprised. And so I went out and I asked them, I said, y'all are being loud. She's in here sick, not doing good. And they were rude and said, shut the door. And they continued their discussion about some other patient. And I just believe this is going on because of the neglect to give our nurses and our and the staff the money that they deserve and the working environment that they deserve. And so then our residents are not being treated the way that they ought to be treated when they go into St. Joe's right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a line in the back.
Thank you. Age before beauty. I'm Betsy Thatcher again, and I stand in support of our nurses at St. Joe's Hospital. As a city, I think we should stand with them because we need them. They're here for our health. We have one hospital in Joliet now. If we have to call for emergency, they're going to take us to St. Joe's because we had Silver Cross, and I know they moved to a better location. They're doing great in that area where they are. But in the city of Joliet, I'm asking that we stand with our nurses, that we support them, and we do not want to see this hospital shut down. We want to see the nurses get decent pay that they deserve. And we want to see our citizens continuing to get the health care that they deserve. Just today, read that Salem Village is closing right there on Rowell Avenue. And we know that there are people, there are senior citizens that need this care, but it's leaving. We have too many things that have left and is leaving our area. Before you know it, and someone said this to me like 5 years ago, it's gonna be nothing but warehouses. And I said, are you kidding me?
didn't see it. I honestly, maybe 10 years ago, didn't see it coming. But now I am concerned because that change has come. And we need service. We need service. Please stand, the city of Joliet, stand with our nurses. Please support them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Janet Diaz. I'm a Will County Board member, but more importantly, today I come to you as a citizen and a customer of St. Joe's Hospital. Several years ago, I woke up in the morning, my face was all swollen. It turned out that I had an infection behind my eye, and I got wonderful care at the hospital. I do worry that we're going to lose that wonderful asset that the city currently has. It is an asset to take care of our patients. I also worked in healthcare for 17 years. It disheartens me to hear 3 years and we got burnout. It used to be like 7 or 8 years. 3 years is nothing. You should just be now getting a foundation of really of what you're doing in the medical field. To hear that we're burning out, that is not good. That is not okay. These nurses deserve to be taken care of. They deserve to be comfortable in the care that they're able to give to their patients. You don't want someone who is afraid to take care of you because they don't have the knowledge, because maybe they're not an ICU nurse being stuck into that kind of healthcare system. That is not safe for us, the citizens. That is not safe for them. We have to stand with our nurses. Please, I know we need to do whatever we can at city level, county level, citizen level. I'm with you. I support whatever we're doing. Please, I love our nurses. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hello, I'm back up here in support of the nurses and the residents of Joliet for St. Joseph Hospital. Now, Ascension is a major corporation. They are in the business of making money. For some unfortunate reason, Ascension is not doing well by our nurses at St. Joseph. They're not doing well by the residents of the city of Joliet. I am here standing to support our nurses because the city of Joliet is the #3 largest city in Illinois, and we need stellar health care for our residents here in Joliet. So I am asking for whatever support we can give to the nurses. I know that Ascension is a public entity, and so the city doesn't have much what they can do with Ascension. However, we can still support our nurses. There's no reason why Ascension can pay a contract nurse more than a qualified nurse who is on their payroll. If they can pay a contract nurse those funds, they can pay the qualified employees who are on their payroll those funds as well. I have an elderly father, and when he got sick, we chose to go to to Silver Cross Hospital so that he can get the health care that he needs because of the issues that are going on with the hospital. St. Joseph was in the middle of a strike when my dad got sick. So that's why we chose to go to Silver Cross. Those funds are no longer remaining in the city of Joliet. I know New Lenox is a partner, a neighboring community. However, those tax dollars are now going to another city. I also want to state that it took my dad 8 hours to get care in an emergency center at Silver Cross. Our region is not supporting one major hospital. We need another viable, stellar healthcare facility here in Joliet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. My name is Deb Backars, and I speak to you as a nurse and as a lifelong resident of Joliet. I have had my sister born here and died here in Joliet's hospital, St. Joseph. My dad, the same way. My mom, my brother. I mean, it's a family place for us. And to see the strife and to see the pain that the nursing staff is enduring because of power and greed, it would seem. I don't understand where Ascension is coming from, but you folks will end up, if you're in an ambulance at St. Joe's, you better hope there's somebody who knows what they're doing in that ER, right? Not somebody from another unit that hasn't been in the ER and doesn't even know where the airways are, right? Much less what to do with them. Attorneys do their own special corporate law and tax law. You wouldn't go see an attorney that does taxes if you needed a divorce, right? You just wouldn't. And it's more than just misappropriation, it's ethics. Because nurses take a vow. We take an ethical stance that says we will treat our patients with certain standards. We can't do that if we're being asked to practice outside our area of expertise. That just can't happen. You can't expect the nurses to do that. They care. I've taken students to St. Joe's for many years. I know how hard they work. I know how much they care. And for them, to have to struggle with a corporation that doesn't know the city, that doesn't particularly have an investment other than a financial investment in this institution, and leave the nurses with no power over their working conditions. No power. Imagine, you go to work, you have no say. Absolutely none. But your professional license and your professional sense of ethics is on the line. Whatever you have to say about that, so sorry, so sad, too bad. Because we're down 300 staff nurses, thank you very much. How can you possibly expect the nursing staff to do what they need to do if you're not willing to staff appropriately? And really, that's what this is about. Money, power, and it's not with the nurses. So whatever you can do as a city council for the public health of this community, I am imploring you to do. It is so important. And your family member might end up being the one who receives the benefit of what you put forward as far as effort to take care of the issues that are present at St. Joe's. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you in advance for your help.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Aaron Murphy. I am actually the ER nurse, one of them, 3 to 3. This is the only ER nurse at St. Joe's that works 3P to 3A. So, and I am not a long life Joliet, sorry guys. I'm actually kind of new to this place. I've been at St. Joe's for 3 months, kind of chose that. I was in the Army for 6 years, so I've kind of been around a few different places. So I actually connected really well with staff nurses here at Joe's, and especially in the ER, it's a very team-oriented. But when you have agency nurses that come in for maybe 16 weeks and maybe just, screw it, they just leave, like you don't have a good team experience whatsoever because they're gone. As you've already known, we've lost 300 nurses in the last 3 years. Is 40% is just gone. And so there's the team is just, it's not there. And not even talking about the acuity of the patients that you get. I mean, we have 4, maybe 5, and it just cycles in and out and in and out throughout the 12 hours. You'll have a trauma room or a cardiac, somebody that's really sick, and then you have to turn around and go take care of another sick person. Then you have another sick person. You don't have time to sit down, eat, drink. You get a sip every now and again. You don't have the 30-minute break that's mandatory or whatever. You can't think of like that, and which is okay because that's what we're built for. That's what the ER is. We're okay with that. We do it because we have to. I mean, we love it. I mean, the chaos is great. I thrive in that. Especially, I learned that from the Army. But it's just it's hard to even do the job, even when we don't even have the equipment that we don't have enough pumps. We don't even have the basic thermometers. We have to run around to room like supermarket suites looking for a pump to go, hey, I have to start this cardine. I can't run it on a dial flow, so I have to run to every single room trying to find a pump. And we bring this up to the leadership of the hospital, and guess what? The CNO just quit. The CEO quit. He's lasted less than 2 years. Who's next? We don't even know. My director just quit. So the leadership, there's just none there. So like, what? I don't know what y'all can do. I'll be honest, I really don't. I mean, we just here, I guess, to talk to the community, to just kind of give it to them, just for them to know what we're dealing with and what we're going through as their nurses, as like we take care of them. I actually talked to a patient the other day. It really sucks. Like, I want to see people, like, I want to see them when they're healthy, but I always see them when, like, they're either dying, they're really sick, or like, like they hate it. And it's like sometimes it's just like, I want to see them healthy, but obviously that it's okay. But I try to tell them, like, don't come back, because, you know, I don't want you to be sick. Get out of here. But of course, we're always there. We're always open 24/7, and we're always going to need nurses. And I just want to, whatever we can do to help and try to put the pressure on Ascension, or especially since they're more than likely going to sell it anyways. That's why they're forcing this contract in. So who's next? We've already been through 4 names. What's 5th, 6th? What's next? That's all I got. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening again. This is Tanya Arias, lifelong resident of Joliet. Here again, as everyone has been mentioning about our St. Joe's nurses, and it is our nurses. It is our City of Joliet nurses. They're our neighbors, they're our friends. We've had family members who either have been at St. Joe's. I know I personally have had a family member at St. Joe's. Indirectly, I think I was a patient because I was with that family member for like over a month as they were hospitalized there. But the amount of care that our nurses give to our patients and to the families that are there, giving support and making, I got yelled at a couple nurses because I wasn't taking care of myself as I was visiting my family member. But the amount of care that they put to our community, we have to be there and back them up as well. And it's not enough just to say we're here to support them, we need action items as well. So how can we as the City of Joliet, we as a council, and then as well putting on my second hat, Joliet Township trustee, how can we work together to make sure that our nurses are getting the support that they need? So I don't want to keep going on because a lot has been said, especially from our nurses, but just how can we all work together? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again. Amy Sanchez, Joliet resident. So I first spoke at a city council meeting in 1989. You'd think it'd get easier after the time goes by, but it doesn't. It still wrecks my nerves, so I try not to make too much eye contact. Unequivocally stand with our nurses. I came to make a different comment, but I do want to say, if you review Ascension across the nation, they are having the same issues with their nurses everywhere across the United States. A lot of their nurses are striking, and they pride themselves in being a nonprofit. I urge you with an action item to write a letter to those board of directors, write a letter to their public stakeholders and those that are investing and where they receive funding from, and let them know what's happening on the front lines and share these testimonies, because we are not, residents of Joliet are not taking our family members to St. Joe's Hospital because we know that they're understaffed and we know that they're under equipped. So we are going out of town to take our family members when there's emergencies. That aside, I came up to speak on a different item as well. Again, mentioning that I've been coming to these city council meetings since 1989 when these city council chambers looked much different. And I love our city, and a lot of my childhood teenager memories are here in this council chambers. And I drive over to the Jefferson Street Bridge very often, all throughout the day, throughout the week, to go to work, to go to meetings. And the north entry of this building that's been closed off because of the entryways is not the most prettiest sight. Especially, you know, then you have the new courthouse and then you have the old courthouse being demolished. And so for folks coming over the bridge, coming into our downtown corridors, I would love to see something different at that north entry there. For those of you that can take a jog down memory lane with me, a tall, slender man with gray hair, many days could be seen out smoking a cigarette on that vestibule there. Bob Frazier, the Minister of Finance for many years. And if you ever got a glare or a snare or a smile from Bob Frazier, you know what I mean. But I guarantee you a lot of city business was done over a cigarette on that north entryway. I would love to see some type of foyer fountain or beautification project at that north entryway instead of just the rope saying out of service, out of order. I think we can do a little bit better. So just wanted to, that could have been an email, but I figured since everybody else was talking and we've spent so much time together, I would say it on the record as well. God bless, rest in peace, Bob Frazier.
Just a reminder that people are only allowed to speak once during public comment.
And say thank you, if that's okay. I just wanted to thank the community for coming out and supporting nursing and supporting caregivers. And thank you for your diligence and for your allowing me just to say thank you. It means a lot to us. We want to be there. Our patients are important. That's what matters. That's why we come to you, and that's why we come out. We go into the doors and work every day to take care of our patients, no matter what. For 36 years I've been there, and I will probably still be there. I will be 74 years old on March 17th, and I've been a nurse there for 36 years, and I continue to work there, and will be there. And so probably I have no more life left, because that is my passion, my goal, my patients, and their survival, and their family's happiness. So I implore you, if there's anything you can do, please, thank you for allowing me these extra moments, and I apologize. But it means so much. It means more to you. I've watched them save lives. I've been that caregiver that saved lives. We are there 365 days a year. We are there, they work 12-hour shifts, and yet they pick up more shifts because we don't have enough staff. That's why they're here. It's not about the money. Of course we have to work, and we have to survive as well. But nobody would do that unless it was about delivering safe, quality care. We can't continue to outsource all of our agents, and everything that we is outsourced. We've stopped our they've sent, like they run Skokie, our care for when patients are dying, and they need that care. They moved it out. Just today we were told.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We do need to move on to the next speaker.
So, thank you very much.
Mayor, excuse me, I just want to ask Pat one question. Pat, excuse me for 1 minute. I keep getting emails about the board of directors and the foundation director members. Have you folks been in contact with any of those folks, or have you heard from any of those folks on the boards?
We have tried to contact them, and there is one picture that is left on that board of directors, and that's Dr. Sasenko. That is the only picture that is there, and we have tried to find out if there are others who have replaced those that have left, and we've not been able to get that information.
So the boards are gone now? The foundation board and the board of directors?
I'm just saying there's a picture.
I know the pictures are gone. I was sent that an email, but before that, those were removed. Was there any contact with any of the boards?
We did try to reach out to them, yes.
And no
But
answers?
They also stated their position in Ascension and at St. Joe's as well.
So you got nowhere with the board?
No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
We did attempt, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Sarah Barnax, and here I stand again. Like I said, I don't know what you can do with the nurses, but I worked 30-some years, and I had 2 unions. I know God allows men to have things, and I hear their cry. In America, they're getting rid of unions because they don't want to pay people. And I don't think that's right, because I know that when I worked for IBEW and where we worked, hey, they might have had to call the police because the people that we had for president and vice president, hey, we was like, we're not taking a no. We're working and we're making you money. We want you to pay us. And if you're taking care of patients, that's important. I want to tell you, I went 2023. I went to the hospital twice. Didn't go to St. Joe's. I went to Silver Cross. And let me tell you, the 2 times I went over there, that emergency room was full. Why? Because they couldn't go to St. Joe's. People had waiting for their heads to be stitched up. A man sitting with his nose, he was bleeding because they were packed. The first time I went there, I was there 10 hours. The next time I went, it was about 4 hours. And I decided myself, I'm not sitting here. After they did my x-rays, I had no bones and nothing broken. I said, I'm going home. So when you go to a hospital, that's mean for everybody. And especially if you're a woman and you had a baby, you don't want nobody messing around. You want to be taken care of. And so I don't know what you can do, but we should try to stand with them. First thing we can do, like I say, is pray. And for them too. We don't know how God will move, but it's important. And so I tell them to be encouraged. So I don't know if y'all could talk to somebody over there or something or not. But if they're selling it, maybe somebody else can get it so it can continue. Because you're gonna need another hospital in Joliet, because that's in New Lenox. And I'm telling you, that emergency on December the 24th, because it had up there on a little board, and I asked my sister to go ask, it said 15 hours you might be here before you got served. And they said, no, we got to erase that and start again. So I'm saying we need another hospital here. So thank you for hearing us.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council, Mayor Darcy. My name is Alicia Morales, a lifelong resident of Joliet. When we started this meeting, we closed with a prayer, and they talked about walking humbly and seeking justice. And I think that's what every nurse in this chambers is asking for today. I know that Naperville and Aurora, they would not be embarrassed if Edward Hospital was doing what St. Joe's is doing to Joliet. Okay, we are very similar to Aurora. You all get to design what our future of Joliet will look like. And right now, it's looking more like warehouses. I feel like we care more about warehouses than we care about people's health care. When people make a decision to move and invest in Joliet, your investors are the people that are buying homes, the people that are paying taxes. And a lot of those people are your immigrant communities. Look what they did up on the hill. They're buying all the houses and making them beautiful. They're investing in places where other people won't even dare to drive by, okay? And when we invest in the city, we not only look for housing, we look for education and healthcare. That is super important. If I'm a young, like my kids, they're in their early 30s and they're having families, they left Joliet. And I begged them to stay, and they said, Mom, we gotta go. I can't blame them, you know? But as the elected officials, we are designing what our cities and our townships will look like. What is the future? I know Mayor Darcy, in your campaign, you talked about the future of Joliet is the young people. You talked about how the young people are gonna be the future. Well, if they're sick or if they're spreading communicable disease, how is that gonna work? It looks like Joliet's also not only warehouses, but we have vaping shops everywhere, temp agencies everywhere, and storage facilities. That's all I see, and it's very disheartening. I don't want to move away from Joliet, but I want to see Joliet become more vibrant. We can beautify it. There's so much we can do. I know what I want to do is I'm going to write a letter to the board of directors as the Joliet Township clerk. That's what I will contribute, because honestly, I don't know what to do, because by myself, I cannot do it alone. I need the support of other elected officials to do that as well. How significant are we, the people, to you? And it will determine on what you put on your agendas and what you vote for moving forward. That's how you will let us know how significant we are. And I know a couple of meetings ago, there was a lot of negativity and bad-mouthing of the asylum seekers. And there's a lot of ignorance by people. If you just go to the U.S. Department of Immigration and Naturalization's website, you will see there are 7 steps to becoming an asylum seeker. Step 1 is you have to be here in person, knock on the door, and ask for asylum. And that is a legal process from the federal government. We are not the federal government. And yet you are implementing bad policies to reroute buses here and there as if people were coming with a plague. We can't handle that. I get it. And a lot more needs to be done at the federal level and at the borders. Both borders, all borders, not just the southern border. What I am gonna say right now is that I am going to send an invitation to a handful of people sitting on this council at the end of I'm gonna send it soon. I'm hoping the final 3rd or 4th week of February, but some of the people that I would like to invite to this meeting, and I don't have to go, are some of our Congress people at the federal level, like Robin Kelly and Lauren Underwood, Chuy Garcia, and a couple more, to work with us, because we are the ones dealing with the brunt of this issue. So please be on the lookout for an invitation from the Joliet Township Clerk. I'm gonna be the initiator, hoping to build a coalition of people to put pressure on the federal people to do what they have to do, because this is their problem, it's not ours. And yet we are turning against each other, and we're letting it happen. Thank you.
Anyone else on the public comments this evening?
So I'm a former nurse from St. Joe's, where I left. My name is Erica. I have been in healthcare over 30 years. I make 28% more than I would if I work at St. Joe's. Where I work is a lot safer. My ratios are a lot better. My biggest passion and what drives me in healthcare is advocacy. And some of the board members have talked to me on other things, and you guys have helped me with some of my city problems. So I think what the biggest thing that nurses need from you guys, you can't tell Ascension what to do. I can't tell the Darcy Corporation how to run an automobile company. But what you guys can do is, when the government's saying that a nurse is a nurse, and that a pediatric nurse who has this vital criteria sees this on an adult, they don't know what to do. You guys can advocate for the government agencies that are saying it's safe to treat a nurse as a nurse. You can't tell Ascension how to run their company, but you can go after the governments that want to risk our license and your loved ones. In Tennessee, we've seen what happened when that nurse made an error. But if you go throughout the United States and look at various articles, nurses are being fined and imprisoned when we're following doctor's orders. But guess what? If I don't know any better, because I'm a pediatric nurse, which I'm not anymore, but if I'm a pediatric nurse and I'm taking care of an adult and I see this doctor's order and I follow it and it causes harm, now I'm serving life in prison, that's wrong. So please, just advocate for us and advocate it throughout the state to protect us, because until we're protected, we're not gonna see an enlargement of nurses. We're gonna keep seeing a bigger shortage. So protect us and advocate for us like we advocate for your loved ones. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to mayor and council comments.
Just wanna, there was a lot said today, and definitely wanna, stand with our nurses for sure. gonna do everything that I can do on my part. Just want to also just, thank the staff for everything that's been going on right now with the snowstorm and keeping everyone off the streets and housing people that we need to house and helping during that situation. Happy New Year. I wasn't here at the last meeting. I missed it due to a flight change, but I'm here now and I'm ready to get the 2024 kicked off and hopeful to be able to do the great work that we need to do here for our city. We do have a great city in our hands. We do got a great city council and members on here to do the work that we need to do. And I look forward to just doing some good work in 2024 with everybody and our new city manager. Again, welcome.
I want to thank my colleagues here on the council for extending me the grace of having missed the last meeting. I spent 2 weeks in Peru, beautiful country, beautiful landscapes, but I'm grateful to be back here in the States. Having had that experience now, there's a number of things that I'm grateful for being back here. Peru, unfortunately, is rife with political instability at the moment, has gone through a number of presidents in the last few years, attempted dissolutions of Congress. It's quite a bit if you have the time to read about it. And there's also some of the driest places in the world there. I was up in the Ica sand dunes at the Huacachina Oasis. Had a lot of fun there, but it is, nothing but sand as far as the eye can see. I was also spent a lot of time up in the mountains where water infrastructure is incredibly difficult to develop and to build out. And it happened where I was in Cusco staying at a hostel and opened up the faucet, nothing but air. And if we're not careful, that's the road that we're traveling on here. And as we continue, as we look at items like $80 million worth of water main improvements, of water infrastructure, we have to be conscious of our consumption habits. We have to be conscious of how we're managing our natural resources, and just be grateful that we do have the ability to tap onto our faucets at any time and have running water coming straight into our homes. It's something that seems so simple, but there's so much work put into it, and I hope that we're all considerate of that and grateful for that. While I was gone, as I mentioned, I missed the last meeting, and there was an item that was included on there, an ordinance that was regulating bus arrivals, buses coming from Texas with migrants sent by Governor Abbott. So you can imagine my surprise at being 4,000 miles away and hearing some of the feedback that was happening during the course of that meeting and immediately afterwards. Speculation, rumors that myself and Councilman Cardenas were hiding away because we were scared to present ourselves at this meeting and scared to be on the record to vote. To be very clear, I do think that an ordinance is a step in the right direction. We cannot have buses arriving at all hours and leaving these people stranded. Ironically, there's very polarizing issue, different camps on either end. But I do actually agree with this. This is something that we can agree about. We can't have unscheduled bus arrivals that we don't know about. There are people who think this ordinance is a step in the right direction because they want to continue to press more anti-immigrant policy. And there's some of us who agree that this is a good ordinance because we want to make sure that we're able to receive these people and make sure that they're documented, bring them out of the shadows so that they don't have to live a life of fear, so that they can be functioning members of our community. Again, it's not up to me to decide whether they belong here or not. That's a federal level policy issue, but we can choose to decide how we respond to this at the local level. With regards to this idea that, myself or Councilman Cardenas or any other Latino elected official here in the Joliet area has been somehow profiting from this issue, that we're receiving kickbacks of some kind, that we are personally escorting a caravan of invaders coming to this country, is preposterous. And I can dispel that with a single word. Why? Why would I do that? I don't own a bus company. I don't own rental properties that I can turn into slum villages. I don't own a company that would employ, cheap migrant labor. There is absolutely no incentive for me to do any of this. And the idea that we have nonprofit organizations that are somehow benefiting from this is, again, insane. Why? Why would they want an increased burden on their staff and their resources that are already strained? So this idea that's being put forth, these straw man arguments, I can respond to those all day. I have no problem. People can make up rumors and speculate and spread lies about myself. I know what I signed up for when I ran for office. It's going to happen. It really doesn't bother me. But when I heard that there was feedback from members of the public suggesting that we as a city should cut all support, all funding to the Spanish Community Center and other organizations that were friendly or supportive of migrants, of recent arrivals, that is nothing short of disgusting. There was a lot of hateful and fearful rhetoric that was disguised under the rallying cry of Americans First. And I don't disagree with that. I absolutely believe that we should be supporting Americans here. We should be supporting people within our community. I don't think that those two things are mutually exclusive. I think it's possible to do both, to support Americans and to support migrants. And I'd be willing to bet that the Spanish Community Center, that their staff, their volunteers have done more to support Americans than just about anybody in that crowd who is shouting that we should support Americans first. As a former staff member there myself, I've seen how people's lives have been transformed. I've seen how people have benefited from the food pantry, from housing assistance, from utility assistance, from their family counseling services. I have seen people who were quite literally homeless find a home, get furniture, have a stable kitchen for once, to be able to feed themselves, to be placed into jobs, to be helped with their first month of rent, to be helped with their first month of utilities, and had their life completely transformed. American citizens that were helped. So this idea that the Spanish Community Center is only exclusively helping migrants, that there's some sort of conspiracy here, that they're somehow profiting from this situation, is absolutely insane and quite frankly disgusting. And I won't stand for it. You can spread as many rumors about myself as you want. Frankly, I don't care. But I will not stand idly by and watch as anyone badmouths a pillar of our community, an organization that has been dedicated for decades to helping Americans and migrants. And I would ask that in the case of what it means to be a good friend for us as we have our personal relationships, to be a good friend means that you won't stand when somebody badmouths your friend in a room when they're not present. And I would ask that everyone here on the council, that everyone in the city do the same thing for a friend of the community, being the Spanish Community Center, that you won't let anyone badmouth this organization when they're not there to defend themselves. And the record is there, that we can look at the services that they provided over the decades and let the facts speak for themselves and do away with all this hearsay and speculation and rumors and flat out lies. The record shows that the Spanish Community Center has been a pillar of this community, has been a friend to us all, and has helped Americans and migrants alike. So again, I want to reemphasize that the speculation and this hearsay is nothing more than that. And we should continue to support organizations that are dedicated to service, that are dedicated to helping Americans, that have helped anyone within our community who needed that help. And on one final note, Ascension, what they're doing, quite frankly, it's union busting. There's no other way around it. We can call it what it is. And with that, I'll yield my time.
Nothing.
Lord Jesus. So I attended, and so did Councilman Cardenas, the African American Business Association / NAACP, Joliet, Martin Luther King Jr. brunch and panel discussion. Very excited about that because the Martin Luther King Day of Service was canceled, so we attended the only event they had. And it was an amazing, very frank panel discussion about equity for the Black community. And it was a very important one, somewhat uncomfortable for some people in the crowd, but it was a very important discussion, so thank you for that. This Thursday, now I feel like I'm Beth Beatty's hype crew, but this Thursday at Bicentennial Bluff Neighborhood Council, she will be there at 6:30. So if you're excited about meeting her and hearing from her, please be sure, I know it's cold, but you came out for this, so you can come out for that, to meet Miss Beth Beatty at 6:30 Bicentennial Bluffs. The following week after that, Beth Beatty will be at the Reedwood Neighborhood Council, also at 6:30. So very excited that she is really eager to get out and meet the community, and especially the neighborhood councils who do so much important work in the city of Joliet. City road crews did amazing, and let me tell you how I know that. Not only did I drive around Joliet, I came back for this meeting, being in Starved Rock for the last 36 hours, and that Helio or whatever they're using on the roads, amazing compared to other cities that are using something else. I don't see those black patches of ice that are so dangerous to all of us. So amazing job to the road crews. I will say this one last thing. District 5, and I tried to explain it to Miss Beth Beatty like this. I heard the Sergeant-at-Arms of the Eastside Neighborhood Council explain that if a plane is crashing and someone has cut their finger and someone else is having a heart attack, who do you help first? Person with a heart attack, and that is District 5 personified. District 5 is a district that needs a lot of help, a lot of equity, some equitable distribution of funds, a grocery store, and some kind of a traffic plan. So I yield my time. Thank you.
Well, I just have one little thing. I've been getting phone calls from senior citizens because they signed up to get their sidewalk and driveways and that plowed, or they signed up for that and they weren't getting services. So my question is, number one, why? Number two, only one person was calling on behalf of the others because the others were afraid if they called and complained, they'd be cut off altogether. And well, you know how older folks are. And the other thing is, they were, when they tried to call someone, they weren't getting any answers. So there was no one answering the phones. And they called the company and the company was rude to them. So my question now to you folks is, with these phone calls that I received, I mean, I can get the addresses for you. Is this company charging us for doing the plowing and when they're not doing it? Because I mean, our street department did a fabulous job with the streets, but that's why we implemented this other program for seniors to sign up for it. So I'd like to, maybe we could look into this company, why they weren't out there doing what they were supposed to do, and if they didn't do it, are they charging us for it? Because my understanding, when they do something, they're supposed to take a picture to say that they were out there. And when the other phone call was, when they did call and get somebody, they were told, well, you don't have a driveway, that's why we didn't plow you. Well, it didn't matter whether you had a driveway or not. It was the front sidewalk and down the stairs and all that that's what was the contract with this excuse me. A lot of the older areas, they don't have driveways. So that whole concept didn't even make sense to me. So if we could look into that.
Yeah, of course.
This is the first year, I mean, I don't know if we got a different company, because the last 2 years, I didn't get any complaints at all.
There's a lot of companies that do it. I think there's a lot of companies that do.
Oh, yeah, so
am I
maybe we could
correct?
look
There's a
into
lot of companies that take care of that plowing for us, correct?
We do Public Works does the plowing on the public streets, I believe.
No, I mean for the.
I thought the private
that runs through neighborhood services, I believe.
Yeah. So Eva Marie, do you know if we have a new?
Well, I'd like to hear.
So just, we could look into it, so we're not getting charged for not getting the services, and I'm getting the phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I have. Be well, everybody, stay warm.
Go ahead.
So first of all, Pat, we really do appreciate you. You are the lifeblood of our hospital, and we stand with you and behind you. Know that. We're with you. I too want to reiterate the great job that the street crew did at the snow. That was really well done. Thank you. And I did get the call that Salem Village is closing, which is very unfortunate for all of us. I spoke to the facility director today, And I've made some calls to other places to see where we could help move folks to. I know that Sunny Hill had 15 available. So we're working behind the scenes to try and help them. They do have a company called Extended Care trying to help them place. But this is our community, so we're gonna work as hard as we can also to help find places for these folks to go. So we are very aware of it, we're working on that. That's all I have, thanks.
I did receive a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition, or conveyance pending or threat litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarra?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
No.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas? Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
You know how many times I wanted to say that?
You can say no, but.